Maya Hayes looked out the window of her small ship. The stars were not where they should be. One minute she was flying near Saturn, and the next minute a strange hole opened in space. Her ship was pulled through before she could do anything. "Where am I?" Maya asked herself. She checked her instruments. None of them worked right. Her radio only made static noises. Her location finder showed nothing but question marks. Maya was the best pilot Earth had. That's why they gave her the new scout ship called Horizon. Her job was to map the edges of our solar system. No one expected her to end up wherever this was. A shadow fell over her ship. Maya looked up and gasped. A massive ship, at least 100 times bigger than hers, hovered above. It was dark blue, with strange lights along its sides. Before Maya could try to run, a bright beam shot out from the big ship and froze the horizon in place. "This is not good," Maya said to herself. She was right. The beam pulled her ship inside the bigger one. When the doors closed behind her, Maya saw creatures she had never seen before. They stood much taller than any human, with blue scaly skin and 4 arms each. They carried weapons that glowed with energy. One of them, wearing more decorated armor than the others, stepped forward. He was even taller than the rest, with scars across his face and cold yellow eyes. "I am Commander Grell of the Zyronian Empire," he said in a deep voice. Somehow Maya understood him, though she guessed some kind of translator was working. "You have entered our territory without permission." Maya stood as tall as she could. "I'm Captain Maya Hayes of Earth. I didn't mean to enter your space. A wormhole pulled my ship here." Commander Grell laughed. The others joined him. "Earth? Never heard of it. Must be some primitive world if this is your best ship." The commander walked around Maya, studying her like she was an insect. "So soft. No scales, no claws. How does your species survive?" Maya said nothing. She knew she was in trouble, but showing fear wouldn't help. "Take her to a cell," Grell ordered. "The Emperor will want to see this new species before we decide what to do with their world." 2 guards grabbed Maya's arms. She didn't fight as they took her through long metal hallways. They pushed her into a small room with nothing but a hard bench. The door closed with a hiss. Maya sat down and thought about her situation. She had been a soldier before becoming a pilot. She had fought in wars on Earth and was trained to survive. If these aliens thought she was weak just because she was human, they were making a big mistake. Hours passed. Maya did exercises in her cell to stay ready. She studied the room, looking for anything she could use. The aliens had taken her gun, but left her boots. They didn't know about the small multi-tool hidden in the heel. It wasn't much, but it was something. Finally, the door opened. Commander Grell stood there with 4 guards. "The Emperor has made his decision," Grell said. "Your kind is new to us. According to our laws, when we find a new species, they must prove their worth." "And how do I do that?" Maya asked. Grell smiled, showing pointed teeth. "Combat. You will face me in the grand arena. If you win, your world will be respected. If you lose, which you will, Earth will be marked for conquest." Maya kept her face calm, but her mind raced. She was being forced to fight for the fate of her planet, against an alien twice her size. "When?" she asked. "Tomorrow," Grell said. "The Emperor enjoys watching new species learn their place in the galaxy." After Grell left, Maya sat back down. She had faced bad odds before. During her time in Special Forces, she had survived situations others called impossible. She wasn't going to give up now. A different alien brought her food and water. This one was smaller, with green-blue scales and large eyes. "You should eat," the alien said quietly. "No one has ever beaten Commander Grell in the arena. He has killed champions from 12 different worlds." "There's always a first time," Maya replied. The alien looked surprised. "You're not afraid?" Maya took the food. "I didn't say that. I'm just not going to show it." "My name is Kelty," the alien said. "I've never seen a human before." "We're full of surprises," Maya said. She ate the strange food. It tasted like salty fish, but she needed the energy. Kelty watched her curiously. Commander Grell said humans are weak, that you have no natural weapons. Maya smiled. We don't need claws or fangs. We have something better. What's that? You'll see tomorrow. After Kelty left, Maya prepared herself. She did more exercises, stretching every muscle. She thought about what she knew about these Zironians. They were stronger, had natural armor with their scales, and were much bigger than humans. But Maya had noticed something when she saw them move. They were fast in short bursts, but seemed to slow down quickly. That might be her only advantage. Humans evolved as long-distance runners. Maya could keep going when other creatures needed to rest. If she could avoid Grell's attacks long enough, he might tire out. It wasn't much of a plan, but it was all she had. That night, Maya slept lightly. She dreamed of Earth, of green forests and blue oceans. She thought about her family, her friends, all the people who didn't even know they were in danger. When she woke up, she made a promise to herself. I will not let Earth fall, she whispered. Morning came. Kelty returned with more food and new clothes. They looked like fighting clothes, light but strong. The arena will be full today, Kelty said. Everyone wants to see the new alien. They won't be disappointed, Maya replied. 2 guards came to take her. They led her through more hallways, then into a tunnel. Maya could hear noise ahead, thousands of voices. The tunnel opened into a massive round arena. The floor was covered in red sand. Around it, seats rose up high, filled with blue-skinned Zironians. At the top was a special box with a larger throne. On it sat what must be the Emperor, wearing gold armor and a crown of metal spikes. Maya was given no weapons. She stood in the center of the arena, feeling small but refusing to show fear. The crowd went quiet when they saw her. Then Commander Grell entered from the other side. The crowd cheered as he raised his 4 arms. He carried an electric staff and wore armor that covered his chest but left his arms free to move. He looked even bigger in the arena than he had on the ship. Grell walked toward Maya, twirling his staff. This will be quick, he said, but I'll make it look good for the Emperor. Maya said nothing. She got into a fighting stance, balanced on the balls of her feet, ready to move. A horn sounded. The battle for Earth had begun. Commander Grell charged at Maya. He moved fast, faster than she expected. His electric staff cut through the air with a sharp buzz. Maya jumped to the side just in time. The staff hit the ground where she had been standing. Red sand flew up in a cloud. The crowd of Zironians cheered. They had come to see blood. They wanted to watch their champion destroy this small, weak human. Maya kept moving. She didn't try to attack. Not yet. Her plan was to watch, learn, and wait. She needed to understand how Grell fought before she could beat him. Grell laughed as he swung again. Stop running, human. Die with some honor. Maya didn't waste breath answering. She ducked under another swing. The air crackled as the staff passed just inches above her head. She could feel the heat from its electric charge. The arena was huge, giving Maya room to move. The red sand made it harder to run, but it was the same for Grell. The 3 suns of Zironia beat down, making the arena hot. Maya was already sweating. She noticed Grell wasn't sweating. His blue scales seemed to reflect the heat. Come fight me, Grell roared. He was getting angry that Maya wouldn't stand still. He stabbed his staff forward like a spear. This time, Maya didn't just dodge. She grabbed the end of the staff. The electric shock hurt, but she held on and used Grell's own force to pull him off balance. As he stumbled forward, Maya kicked hard at his knee. Grell grunted in pain. The crowd went silent for a moment. Then they started shouting again, some cheering for Grell, others just surprised. Maya let go of the staff and backed away. Her hand was burned from the electricity, but she could still use it. She had learned something important. Grell was strong, but not good at changing direction quickly. You'll pay for that, Grell said. He was angry now. Angry fighters make mistakes. For 10 minutes, they played this game. Grell attacked. Maya dodged. Sometimes she landed small hits when she saw an opening. Nothing that could really hurt Grell, but enough to frustrate him. Maya was getting tired, but she noticed something. Grell was breathing harder than she was. His movements were getting slower. Just as she had thought, the Zeronians had great speed but poor endurance. In the Emperor's box, the ruler of the Zeronians leaned forward. He had expected this fight to be over quickly. Now he was interested. His science advisor whispered in his ear, pointing things out about the humans' movements. Grell changed his approach. He stopped chasing Maya and stood in the center of the arena. "Enough running. Come to me or I will tell my soldiers to find your planet and burn it." Maya knew this was a trick to make her attack on his terms. But she also knew she couldn't just keep dodging forever. She needed to do something unexpected. She ran straight at Grell. The commander raised his staff, ready to strike her down. At the last second, Maya dropped and slid in the sand, right between Grell's legs. As she passed under him, she pulled out her hidden multi-tool and jabbed it into the back of his knee, where the scales were thinner. Grell roared in pain. He spun around, but Maya was already back on her feet. She now stood where he had been, while he had his back to the arena wall. "You cheated!" Grell shouted, looking at the small tool in Maya's hand. "You had a weapon." "I used what I had," Maya said, "just like you're using that staff and armor." The Emperor stood up. Everyone in the arena went quiet. "The human's weapon is small," the Emperor said, his voice booming across the arena. "This is not against our rules. The fight continues." The crowd roared. Many of them were now watching Maya with new interest. No one had ever seen Grell bleed in the arena before. Grell was furious. He charged again, but now he had a limp. Maya could see the change in his movement. He was favoring his good leg. This created a pattern she could predict. For the next half hour, the fight continued. Maya kept moving, using the whole arena. She didn't try to match Grell's strength. Instead, she used his power against him, letting him tire himself out. The crowd had changed. At first, they had laughed at Maya. Now many were cheering when she dodged Grell's attacks. Some were even calling her name, which they had heard when she was introduced. "Maya, Maya," parts of the crowd chanted. Grell was slowing down. His blue scales had turned a darker color as his blood pumped hard. He was breathing in great gasps. Sweat now dripped from his scales, something the Zeronians rarely did. Maya was tired too. Her muscles ached. The cut on her hand from the electric staff burned. But she had trained for endurance all her life. On Earth, she had run marathons. She had gone days with little sleep during her special forces training. "What are you?" Grell gasped as he missed another swing. "Human," Maya answered simply. She moved in quickly, struck at Grell's injured knee again, then danced away before he could hit her. In the royal box, the Emperor's science advisor was getting excited. "Your Majesty, this species shows remarkable endurance. Their fighting style is unlike anything in our records." The Emperor nodded slowly. "Perhaps we have found something new after all." On the arena floor, Grell tried one last desperate attack. He threw his staff at Maya like a spear. She wasn't expecting this. The staff hit her shoulder, sending electric pain through her body. She fell to one knee. The crowd gasped. Grell charged, thinking this was his chance, but the throw had cost him his weapon. Now he could only use his bare hands. As he reached Maya, she rolled away from his grasp. Grell's momentum carried him forward. He stumbled on his bad leg and fell hard onto the sand. Maya got back to her feet first. She moved quickly to Grell and placed her multi-tool against his neck, at a spot where the scales were thin. "Yield," she said. Grell tried to get up but couldn't find the strength. His body had reached its limit. The crowd was completely silent now. No one could believe what they were seeing. "I yield," Grell finally said. The arena erupted in noise. Some Zeronians cheered, others shouted in anger or disbelief. The Emperor stood again, raising his hands for quiet. "The human has won," he declared. "By our laws, her victory must be honored." Guards came into the arena. Maya backed away from Grell, still holding her small weapon ready. She didn't trust that this was over. "Captain Maya Hayes," the Emperor said. "You have earned the right to speak for your planet. Come to my palace when you have rested." The guards helped Grell to his feet. The commander looked at Maya with a mixture of anger and confusion. "How?" he asked her quietly as the guards led him away. "You have no claws, no scales, no natural strength." Maya looked him in the eyes. "Humans don't need those things. We have something more powerful." "What is that?" Grell asked. "Adaptability," Maya answered. "We became the top species on our planet not because we were the strongest or fastest, but because we could outlast anything, outthink anything, and never ever give up." As Maya was led from the arena, the Zeronians watched in silence. They had expected to see a weak alien die. Instead, they had witnessed something that would change their view of the galaxy forever. And in the medical chamber where Grell was taken, the commander of the Zyronian forces stared at the ceiling, thinking about what it meant to face a species that didn't know when to quit. For the first time in his life, he felt something new: respect for an enemy, and perhaps a touch of fear for what it might mean for the future. Maya sat in a large room in the Emperor's palace. Her wounds had been treated by Zyronian healers. They used a blue gel that closed her cuts and took away the pain. Now she waited to meet the Emperor. The room was made of stone and metal. Strange. Plants grew in pots along the walls. The furniture was built for the larger Zeronians, making Maya feel like a child sitting in adult chairs. The door opened. A group of Zeronians entered. In the middle was the Emperor, taller than the rest, with gold designs on his blue scales. His forearms were covered in jeweled bands. Guards stood on either side of him. Behind them came Commander Grell. He walked, with a slight limp from his injured knee. His face showed no emotion, but his eyes watched Maya carefully. Maya stood up and bowed slightly. She didn't know the right greeting, but respect seemed wise. "Captain Maya Hayes of Earth," the Emperor said, "you have surprised us all." "I was just fighting to survive," Maya said. The Emperor sat in a large chair. Everyone else remained standing. "Our scientists have been studying the recordings of your battle," the Emperor said. "They are fascinated by human physiology. Tell me, are all humans like you?" Maya thought carefully before answering. "Every human is different. Some are stronger than me, some are faster. But yes, most healthy humans have similar endurance." A Zyronian in a white robe stepped forward. This must be the science advisor Maya had seen in the arena. "Your ability to regulate body temperature through sweating is remarkable," the advisor said. "And your cardiovascular system seems designed for extended periods of activity. Our people evolved as ambush hunters. We strike quickly, then rest. Your kind seems built to never stop." Maya nodded. "On Earth, early humans hunted by chasing animals until they collapsed from exhaustion. We call it persistence hunting," the Emperor leaned forward. "And your world? Tell us about Earth." Maya described Earth as best she could. She told them about the oceans and mountains, the different climates, the many species of animals. She explained human history, how they had started with simple tools and now had spaceships. "Your species is young," the Emperor said when she finished. "The Zyronian Empire has existed for 50,000 years. We have conquered hundreds of worlds. We don't want war," Maya said. "My ship was exploring, not invading. I came here by accident." The Emperor looked at Grell. "Commander, you faced this human. What is your assessment?" Grell stepped forward. His voice was stiff, formal. "The human showed unusual tactics. She did not try to overpower me, but used my own strength. Against me, she found weaknesses I did not know I had." "And if there were more humans? An army of them?" the Emperor asked. Grell hesitated. This was clearly difficult for him to admit. They would be challenging opponents. Their endurance would give them advantage in prolonged conflict. The Emperor turned back to Maya. "Interesting. Most species we encounter either submit immediately or fight with predictable methods. Humans seem different." "We are," Maya said. "We value peace, but we protect what's ours. If you came to Earth, looking for an easy conquest, you would regret it. A bold statement, but Maya knew she had to speak confidently. She might be the only human these aliens would ever talk to before deciding Earth's fate. The science advisor spoke again. Your Majesty, I believe studying humans could benefit our empire. Their different evolutionary path has given them unique traits. Perhaps there are things we could learn from them. The Emperor was quiet for a long time. Finally, he stood. Captain Hayes, according to our traditions, your victory has earned your species the right not to be enslaved. But that leaves many possibilities. We could simply ignore your world. We could trade with you. We could still conquer you, though it might be costly. Maya stood as tall as she could. Or we could be allies. The room went silent. Zyronians looked at each other in surprise. Even Grell's eyes widened. Allies, the Emperor repeated. The Zyronian Empire does not have allies, we have subjects and enemies. Maybe it's time for something new, Maya suggested. Humans have technologies you might find useful. You have knowledge of the galaxy we don't have. Together, we could both benefit. The Emperor walked closer to Maya. He was more than twice her height, looking down at her with golden eyes. You speak boldly for someone whose planet we could destroy. If that's what you wanted, you wouldn't be talking to me now, Maya pointed out. Unexpectedly, the Emperor laughed. It was a deep, rumbling sound. You continue to surprise me, human. Perhaps there is wisdom in your words. He turned to his advisors. Prepare quarters for Captain Hayes. She will remain as our guest while we consider Earth's status. With that, the Emperor left. Most of the other Zyronians followed him. Only Grell and 2 guards remained. Grell dismissed the guards with a wave. When they were alone, he looked at Maya differently. There was still pride in his face, but also curiosity. No one has ever defeated me in the arena, he said. There's always a first time, Maya replied. You could have killed me. When I fell, my neck was exposed. Your weapon could have ended my life. Maya nodded. It could have. Why didn't you? Killing you wouldn't have helped Earth. Showing mercy might. Grell seemed confused by this idea. In your position, I would have killed you. That's the difference between us, Maya said. Humans have learned that sometimes mercy is stronger than violence. Grell touched his injured knee. Our healers say I will recover fully in a few days. Our bodies repair quickly. That's good to hear. Would you? Grell seemed unsure of his words. Would you show me how you fought? The techniques you used against me? Now it was Maya's turn to be surprised. You want me to teach you? Knowledge is advantage. You know my weaknesses now. I should learn yours. Maya thought about this. It could be dangerous to teach a potential enemy, but it could also build trust. All right, she agreed. When your knee is better. Over the next week, Maya was given freedom to move around parts of the palace. She was still a guest, not quite a prisoner, but not free to leave. The Zyronians watched her constantly, especially when she exercised each morning. She met with scientists who asked endless questions about humans. She answered honestly, seeing no reason to hide basic biology. But she was careful not to reveal too much about Earth's defenses or weaknesses. Kelty, the small Zyronian who had brought her food before the fight, became her guide. Kelty explained Zyronian customs and history, helping Maya understand their culture. Our people have always valued strength, Kelty explained as they walked through a garden of strange, spiky plants. For thousands of years we fought each other. Then we united and fought other worlds. Hasn't anyone ever resisted? Maya asked. Some try. They all fail eventually. The Empire is too big, too powerful. But you've never met humans before, Maya said. Kelty looked nervous. You should not speak like that. The Emperor is being generous by not destroying your world immediately. Is he generous? Or is he smart enough to see that humans might not be easy to conquer? Before Kelty could answer, Commander Grell appeared on the path ahead. His knee seemed much better. He walked with barely any limp now. Captain Hayes, he said formally, the Emperor has made his decision about Earth. You are summoned. Maya felt her heart beat faster. This was the moment that would decide her planet's fate. She followed Grell back into the palace, through grand hallways decorated with artwork, showing Zeronian victories. The throne room was filled with important Zeronians. Maya recognized some of the scientists she had spoken with. Others must be military leaders or nobles. They all turned to look at her when she entered. The Emperor sat on his throne. He waited until Maya stood before him, then spoke in a loud voice so everyone could hear. After much consideration, I have decided Earth's status in the Zeronian Empire. Maya held her breath. Humans have proven themselves worthy opponents, too worthy to waste in needless conflict. Therefore, Earth will be offered protectorate status. Murmurs spread through the crowd. Maya had learned enough to know what this meant. Earth would not be attacked, but would be expected to obey Zeronian rules and pay tribute. With respect, Your Majesty, Maya said, humans will not accept being ruled by others. We have fought too hard for our freedom. The Emperor frowned. You reject our generous offer? I suggest a different relationship. Equal trading partners. We can learn from each other, without one ruling the other. The throne, room filled with angry voices. A Zeronian general stepped forward. This is outrageous. No species speaks to the Emperor this way. But the Emperor raised his hand for silence. He studied Maya with those golden eyes. Equal partners, he repeated slowly, as if the concept was new to him. The Zeronian Empire has never had equals. There's a first time for everything, Maya said, echoing her words to Grell. To everyone's shock, the Emperor smiled. Indeed there is, Captain Hayes. Indeed there is. 3 months passed. Maya lived in special rooms in the palace. She was no longer watched by guards, but she still couldn't leave the planet. The Zeronians were building a ship that could take her back to Earth, along with Zeronian representatives. During this time, Maya met regularly with Commander Grell. As he had asked, she taught him human fighting styles. In return, he taught her Zeronian combat techniques. What began as tense training sessions slowly became something close to friendship. Your species focuses too much on strength, Maya told Grell as they practiced in a private training room. You need to work on endurance. Grell was breathing hard. He had been trying to keep up with Maya's running exercises. Our bodies are not made for this, he complained. Neither were ours originally, Maya said. Humans trained ourselves to be better. We pushed our limits. This idea fascinated Grell. The thought that a species could improve beyond their natural abilities was new to Zeronians. They had always relied on their natural advantages: strength, scales, forearms. Show me again the technique for using an opponent's weight against them, Grell said. Maya demonstrated a simple judo throw. Grell tried it, using one of the training dummies. His extra arms made the move awkward, but he was learning. In all my years as a warrior, I never thought I would learn battle skills from a species I once considered weak, Grell admitted. That's your empire's problem, Maya said. You judge strength only by what you can see. Muscles, claws, scales. You miss other kinds of strength. Grell was quiet for a moment. Perhaps you are right. It nearly cost me my life in the arena. That evening, Maya was invited to dine with the Emperor. This had become a weekly event, where they discussed plans for Earth-Zeronian relations. Sometimes the science advisor joined them. Sometimes it was military leaders. Tonight it was just the Emperor, Maya, and surprisingly Commander Grell. The food was strange, but Maya had gotten used to it. The meat was too raw for human taste, and the vegetables were spicy in odd ways. But it was edible. My scientists have prepared a report on potential trade with Earth, the Emperor said. They believe your planet has unique resources we lack. And you have technology we could only dream of, Maya replied. The faster-than-light travel alone would change everything for humans. The Emperor nodded. Yes, but we must proceed carefully. Some species misuse advanced technology when they receive it too quickly. Maya wanted to argue, but knew he had a point. Humans didn't have the best track record with new technologies. The first contact must be carefully managed, the Emperor continued. That is why Commander Grell will lead the mission to Earth. Maya nearly choked on her food. Grell? Grell looked equally surprised. Your Majesty, I am a warrior, not a diplomat. Exactly, the Emperor said. Earth must see our strength alongside our friendship, and you, Commander, have something no other Zyronian has. What is that? Grell asked. Experience losing to a human, the Emperor said with what might have been a smile. It has given you humility, something my diplomats often lack. Maya looked at Grell, trying to imagine him meeting Earth's leaders. It was a strange thought. When do we leave? She asked. The ship will be ready in 1 month, the Emperor answered. It can create the same type of wormhole that brought you here. You will return to your solar system in moments rather than spending years traveling. After dinner, Maya and Grell walked through the palace gardens. The 3 moons of Zeronia lit the strange plants in silver light. Are you nervous about visiting Earth? Maya asked. I am concerned, Grell admitted. Your people will see me as the alien who tried to kill their representative. Then we'll have to show them you're more than that now. Grell stopped walking and turned to Maya. What am I to you now? Still an enemy? Maya thought about it. No, not an enemy. Maybe not quite a friend yet, but someone I respect. Respect, Grell repeated the word. Yes, that is what I feel for you as well. You changed how I see the galaxy. They continued walking in silence. Maya thought about how much had changed since that day in the arena. One fight had altered the course of 2 species. The next few weeks were busy. Maya met with Zeronian officials to plan the first contact mission. They would take a small ship with just 10 Zeronians, including Grell. Their goal was to establish diplomatic relations and set up trade agreements. Maya helped them understand human customs and warned them about things that might cause problems. Don't mention conquering or empire when you talk to Earth leaders, she advised. Those are sensitive topics for humans. But the Zyronian Empire has existed for 50,000 years, one official protested. It is our pride. I understand, Maya said. But humans value independence above almost everything. If you want us as allies instead of enemies, you need to treat Earth as an equal. Some officials disliked this approach. They had never treated any species as equals before, but the Emperor had made his decision, and they had to obey. As the launch day approached, Maya spent more time with Grell. She felt he was the key to making this work. If he could show other Zyronians how to respect humans, there might be peace instead of war. Have you ever wondered what would have happened if you had killed me in the arena? Grell asked one day as they prepared equipment for the journey. Sometimes, Maya admitted, the Emperor might have destroyed Earth in revenge. Or he might have feared humans more, Grell said. Fear often leads to greater violence. Then I'm glad I chose mercy. The day before launch, the Emperor held a ceremony. Many important Zyronians attended. Maya was given special clothes similar to what Zyronian ambassadors wore but sized for her. Captain Maya Hayes, the Emperor announced. You came to us as a prisoner. You proved yourself as a warrior. Now you return to your world as a friend of the Zyronian Empire. May this be the beginning of a new chapter in our history. Maya bowed. Thank you, Your Majesty. I will do everything I can to ensure peace between our peoples. That night, Maya couldn't sleep. Tomorrow she would go home. After months among aliens, she would see Earth again, and she would bring with her creatures. Humans had never imagined with technology that could change everything. Would Earth's leaders listen? Would they understand the opportunity and the danger the Zeronians represented? Would they see what Maya had learned, that strength comes in many forms, and sometimes the strongest choice is peace? Morning came. The ship was ready. It was smaller than the warship that had captured Maya, but still impressive. It gleamed silver in the light of Zeronia's 3 suns. Commander Grell met Maya at the boarding ramp. He wore his formal armor, polished to a shine. His forearms held ceremonial weapons, but they were peace-bonded with silver chains to show they would not be used. Are you ready to show me your world? Grell asked. Maya nodded. Ready as I'll ever be. They boarded the ship with the other Zeronians. The inside was designed for the larger aliens, but they had built a special seat for Maya on the bridge. From there, she could see everything. Course set for Sol system, third planet, the pilot announced. Wormhole generators charging. Maya felt her heart race. Soon she would be home, but home would never be the same, now that Earth knew it wasn't. Alone in the universe. Wormhole opening in 3, 2, 1. The stars outside the view screen blurred. A tunnel of swirling blue light appeared in space. The ship moved forward, entering the wormhole. Maya looked at Grell. The commander stood, tall and proud, but she could... The landing was tense. Earth's military had surrounded the area with tanks, jets, and soldiers. Guns pointed at the Zyronian ship as its ramp lowered to the ground. Maya walked out first, hands raised to show she wasn't a threat. The bright sun of Earth felt good on her face after months under Zyronia's 3 red suns. The air smelled different, cleaner, fresher. Captain Hayes, a man in a general's uniform, stepped forward. "Stand aside so we can secure these aliens." "General Boyd," Maya said, "there's no need for weapons. The Zyronians come in peace." Boyd looked skeptical. "You've been missing for 4 months. We need to debrief you and examine you before we take your word on anything." Maya stood her ground. "I understand, sir, but I promised these aliens safe passage. They could have kept me prisoner or destroyed our planet. Instead, they chose diplomacy." The general hesitated. Maya knew what he was thinking. If these blue-scaled giants wanted war, they probably would have started with an attack, not a peaceful landing with a human escort. "All right," Boyd finally said. "They can exit the ship, but my men stay ready." Maya turned and nodded toward the ship. Slowly, Commander Grell emerged, followed by the other 9 Zyronians. Their height and forearms caused gasps among the human soldiers. Many gripped their weapons tighter. Grell had been coached on human customs. He stopped a respectful distance away and bowed instead of offering his hands, which might have been seen as threatening. "I am Commander Grell of the Zyronian Empire," he said, his translator making his words clear in English. "We come with peaceful intentions, to establish relations between our peoples." General Boyd stared up at the alien, clearly trying to hide his shock. "I'm General Samuel Boyd of United Earth Space Command. Welcome to Earth." It was a small moment, but an historic one, the first official greeting between humans and Zyronians. The next few days were a blur of meetings, medical exams, and debriefings. Maya told her story again and again, how she had been pulled through a wormhole captured by the Zyronians, forced to fight in the arena, and how her victory had changed everything. World leaders gathered in emergency session at the United Nations. The Zyronian delegation was kept in a secure facility, comfortable but guarded. Maya was allowed to visit them daily. She found Grell standing at a window, looking out at Earth's landscape. "Are your people treating you well?" Maya asked. "Yes," Grell said. "But I sense their fear. It reminds me of how we viewed you when you first arrived on Zyronia." "Fear is natural when meeting something new and powerful," Maya said. "It will fade with time." Grell turned from the window. "Your planet is so different from ours. So much water, so many different environments. I understand better now why humans are so adaptable." 1 week after landing, the United Nations held a special session. Maya sat with the human delegates while Grell and 2 other Zyronians represented their empire. The world watched as cameras broadcast the historic meeting. The UN Secretary General opened the session. "Today marks a new chapter in human history. We are not alone in the universe. The question before us is, what kind of relationship will we have with the Zyronian Empire?" Grell stood to address the assembly. His massive blue form towered over the human representatives. For 50,000 years, the Zyronian Empire has encountered other species through conquest. We judged strength by physical power alone. Captain Maya Hayes showed us a different kind of strength. He looked at Maya, before continuing. "In our arena, she did not try to overpower me. She used intelligence, endurance, and skill. And when she could have taken my life, she chose mercy. This taught me that there are many forms of strength, and many paths besides conquest." The hall was silent. World leaders leaned forward, hanging. on every word from this alien who could represent either the greatest threat or greatest opportunity humanity had ever faced. The Emperor offers Earth a choice, Grell continued. Not submission as we would have demanded in the past, but partnership, equal trading partners with mutual respect. Debate followed. Some human leaders were suspicious, others were eager for alien technology. Questions flew about what the Zeronians wanted, what they could offer, whether they could be trusted. Through it all, Maya watched Grell. The commander answered with patience she had never seen from him before. The warrior who had tried to kill her months ago was now fighting for peace with words instead of weapons. During a break in the session, Maya found Grell in a quiet corner. "You're doing well," she told him. "Better than I expected." Grell made a sound that Maya had learned was a Zeronian laugh. "I was trained to conquer worlds, not talk to them. This is harder than battle, but just as important." Grell nodded. "I begin to see why the Emperor chose me for this mission. My defeat in the arena prepared me to understand humans in a way other Zyronians cannot. Sometimes losing teaches more than winning," Maya said. When the session resumed, the UN Security Council presented their response. They proposed a limited agreement, carefully controlled trade and cultural exchange, with strict limits on military contact. It was less than the Zyronians had offered, but more than many had expected humans to accept. It was a cautious first step. Grell accepted the terms with grace. This is a beginning. Trust must be earned on both sides. Over the next few months, the relationship slowly developed. Zyronian scientists came to Earth to study its unique environment. Human scientists were allowed to visit Zeronia to learn about their technology. Strict rules were put in place. No weapons tech would be shared. No Zeronian ships would enter Earth space without permission. Communication would remain open between both worlds. Maya found herself in a new role, ambassador to Zeronia. Her experience made her the natural choice. 6 months after the landing, she prepared to return to the alien world, this time leading a team of human diplomats and scientists. The night before her departure, she met with Grell. The commander had been recalled to Zeronia 2 months earlier, but had returned to escort the human delegation. They walked along a beach, a type of environment Zeronia didn't have. Grell seemed fascinated by the waves and the sand. "Your world has changed me," Grell said. "I look at things differently now." "How so?" Maya asked. "Before I met you, strength was simple. The strongest survived, the strongest ruled. Now I see strength in many forms. In your earth trees that bend with the wind instead of fighting it. In your people who are physically weaker than Zeronians but have built amazing things through cooperation." Maya smiled. "And my people are learning from yours too. Your focus, your discipline, your sense of honor." They stopped walking. The sun was setting over the ocean, turning the sky orange and red. "Do you ever think about that day in the arena?" Grell asked. "Often," Maya admitted. "It changed everything." "I went there to kill you," Grell said softly. "I thought it was my duty, my honor. I was wrong." "We were both doing what we thought was right," Maya said, "but we found a better way." Grell looked out at the ocean. "In 50,000 years of the Zeronian Empire, we conquered hundreds of worlds. We never once considered that talking might be better than fighting." "It's not too late to change," Maya said. "No," Grell agreed. "It is not too late." The next day, Maya boarded the Zeronian ship with her team. Earth grew smaller in the view screen as they rose into space. Soon they would enter the wormhole and travel to a world that only months ago had been unknown to humanity. As the ship prepared to jump, Maya stood beside Grell on the bridge. Once they had been enemies, forced to fight to the death. Now they stood together, building peace between their worlds. "I'm glad you didn't kill me in that arena," Grell said suddenly. Maya smiled. "So am I." "And I'm glad I failed to kill you," Grell added. "It was my greatest failure, and my most important lesson." The wormhole opened before them, a swirling tunnel of blue light. As the ship moved forward, carrying humans and Zeronians together, Maya thought about how one fight had changed the course of two civilizations. A galactic soldier had tried to kill a woman in the arena. He had regretted it the moment the battle began, but from that regret had come understanding. From understanding had come respect. From respect had come peace. And, as Earth faded behind them and the stars of Zyronia waited ahead, Maya knew that their story was just beginning.